You know, I am originally from Chicago, born and raised. And when I was a little girl, I used to sit in my grandfather's kitchen and we would listen to Rainbow Push on the radio. I never thought I would be standing here. But I appreciate and am thankful that Reverend Jackson and Santita are allowing me to say a few words about the National Civil Rights Museum. We came to Chicago because there's a direct connection between Chicago and the South. The Great Migration that took place brought so many of our families from the South to points north, and Chicago was a big place where we settled. And so what we're doing is asking people to come back home. Even if Memphis isn't home, it's close to home. Come back home and make a stop at the National Civil Rights Museum. One of the things that we're saying to people is that, you know, the museum is housed within the Lorraine Motel, which was where the unfortunate assassination occurred of Dr. King. Reverend Jackson was there, and he is on the walls of the National Civil Rights Museum. But we want you to think of it more than just a museum, just a place where you kind of view artifacts and history, but that it is a place that makes history as well. All of what we're seeing going on in our communities today is not unconnected to what we have seen in the past, and frankly, what is chronicled on the walls of the National Civil Rights Museum. None of this stuff is new. We just had in Tennessee really unfortunate bill signed into law that basically is, well, not basically, is simply voter suppression, where the governor signed into law a restriction on nonprofit organizations that are doing voter registration drives. And if more than a certain number of the registrations are not completed correctly, they will fine the nonprofit organization that is doing the registration effort. Now, Tennessee is 49th in voter registration. Why in the world would you decide that you want to restrict voter registration when you are already 49th? It seems pretty crystal clear to me. I don't know. But so we have written letters and obviously are in opposition because the people who are chronicled on the walls of the National Civil Rights Museum, some of them died for us to actually be able to have the right to vote. So we got this going on in Tennessee. In Florida, we've got the state saying, okay, well, we're going to reinstate rights to returning citizens, but if they have any fines outstanding, they got to pay those before they vote. Well, that's called a poll tax. And so what we are seeing is those ghosts of the past rising up and starting to be a part of our present, and we have to fight that. So the National Civil Rights Museum, again, is not just a museum, but we are an advocate in the community as well. So I would like to encourage everybody to get in their car and just drive on down to Memphis, Tennessee. Come visit us. We're open every day except Tuesdays. And in the summertime, we're open from 9 to 6. We will welcome you. And then what we want to ask you to do, and each of you that are in this room are already doing that, but we would ask you to, based on what you see at the museum, engage in your community and make it the place that it needs to be, because we got all sorts of issues between the gentrification of neighborhoods that is running rampant throughout our cities in particular, to these voter laws, to the issues with our young people, criminal justice. We got a lot of work to do. It is not yet done. So Reverend Jackson joined us last year at our 50th, and we talked about where do we go from here? Now the question is, where are we going and who are we taking with us? So thank you for giving me some time this morning, and God bless each and every one of you.